Welcome back. We're on to the Copa America segment, so we will continue with our preview of the tournament. As you already know, it's just 2 days to go. So we'll be taking a look at the news from the teams that would participate in the Copa America Centenario. Of course, we'll be talking about Argentina today, tale of injuries from the Argentine squad. We'll also be talking about the dark horses, Colombia, what is happening with that. And my colleagues join me now, Cecilia Morogwe and Tayo Salam. We'll be taking a look at the news coming in from Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia in this segment. Tayo, Cici, let me welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
It's great to be here. Great to be here.
All right, so let's start with Brazil. What's coming on? We heard that Rafinha is out, and Lucas Moura. You've been clamoring for Lucas Moura. You actually said you're surprised he didn't make it in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got your wish now.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't really say my wish, but then I thought he had a good season for PSG. I thought he should have made the team initially, but for some reason, Dunga, decided not to pick anyone from PSG. But he's back now, and it's good, especially if you want to consider that the man from Bayern Munich is out. That's Douglas Costa. Is a very similar type of player, very direct, and likes to take on players, and likes to get to the byline and put a cross in for the strikers to score. So I think it's a very good inclusion by Dunga, even though it's coming a bit late, but they all count.
Cici, Dunga's choice comes into the spotlight again. I don't know, Rafinha for Lucas Moura. I don't know if it's like for like, or you feel it's the best choice in the prevailing circumstance.
Yeah, I think this circumstance, of course, is definitely the best choice. Lucas Moura, he's a winger. We knew his performance at PSG and all that. Even at first, as Tayo said, when the list came on, we're wondering how come he's not there. But I don't know, Dunga, maybe what he did in this particular squad is like, it wasn't even too sure of players to pick, because right now, 4 players, 4 replacements so far because of injury. I learned that goalkeeper, Edison has also been replaced by Marcelo Greuer. That's a Gremio goalkeeper. So he's actually coming into the squad. So it means that he has made 4 changes. Remember Kaká, who actually came in the other time and all that. So for him, I think picking Rafinha, picking Lucas Moura, does he have any other option? I don't think so.
Yeah, Yemi and Cecilia, I think what has happened is a lot of the changes have been injury
forced.
Exactly. So he's not had a choice but to bring in, replacements. And for example, when Douglas Costa went out and went down injured, I thought the right replacement, like for like, would have been Lucas Moura. He didn't do it. Went for Kaká instead, and we talked about how Kaká's experience actually be good for the team. But another one has gone down now. Rafinha is out to bring in someone, and this someone that is brought in is a very good player. I think he's one to watch out for.
Probably might justify his inclusion.
Yeah, I think he will. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about another team. Too many injuries to talk about, Cecilia. Let's talk about Argentina. Lionel Messi still battling with his cases. But now, let's talk about football-related stories. Eric Lamela, Javier Pastore, and Esquel Lavesi. You don't have to have those 3 players being doubtful for your opening game at the Copa America Centenario, but that's the story for Argentina.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen, because their first game is on Monday against Chile, so that's a big game. So you're having these 3 key players actually missing out. Remember they talked about Messi pick up back injury the other time and all that, but they're saying he's going to be fit for the game. But will he be 100% fit? That's the question, because that back injury is something that will not just go away quickly. So when you're having these key players now, they're not there in your opening game, and it's going to be against defending champion
Chile,
and it's your first game. I don't know what's going to happen to them in that game, because it's going to be difficult.
Tayo, I'm looking at these names. How many of these guys would normally be in the starting 11? Eric Lamela, Javier Pastore. That's how to judge how big a miss this would be. So how many of these guys, Esquel Lavesi, Pastore, all good players, Eric Lamela, for Spurs, how many of them do you think on a good day would have been in the starting lineup for us to know how big a miss it would be?
Well, it's most times when you're playing a tournament like this, it's not about the starting lineup. Sometimes, you need the players that can come from the bench and make the impact and that is desired, that is necessary. So for Lamela, Lavezzi, these are all good players. We've seen them play, over the years in Europe. Lamela for Spurs, and Lavezzi is somewhere in China now. I wonder the kind of level of fitness is bringing and form is bringing into this competition.
China fortune.
Yeah, but the fact is, they're good players, okay? So if the time calls for them, to be brought on, they will come in and do a good job for Argentina. But quickly, before we just move on from this now, I mean, it looks like the injury bug is really biting. Yeah, it's biting hard. I mean, too many players going down to muscle injuries, and you wonder. You wonder sometimes, and you think these players have played a lot of games.
European season is hectic.
Very, very, very grueling season.
And I don't know if I can throw this in. Yesterday, news hit us, Keylor Navas for Costa Rica.
They're all going down. It's
not going to be there.
Stuff. And it looks like the injury will play a major role in this year's competition. Very unfortunate, but it's all part of the game.
All right, let's guys, let's pick a team and focus on that team.
Yeah.
We're done with the news from the teams now, and Colombia. That's where we should go.
Yes.
They did well at the last World Cup. It must be said. But now let's take a look at them. Let's take a look at the 23-man squad. Some notable names and goalkeepers. Well, obviously, of course, Ospina. That's what jumps. Didn't get to do much this season.
For obvious reasons, Piszczek is #1. So David Ospina, but the times is common for Arsenal. He's done decently, and he's just made a few appearances, just 4 in total for Arsenal this season. But I think it's still going to be #1, barring any late
Sicilia defenders. Yeah. You have a lot of them in South America.
Yeah, yes. Definitely. That's what he's actually sticking with. And the only player we can actually take out is the PSG man. That's the only player coming from outside. And of course, you have a Christian Zapata from AC Milan. Inter Milan,
veteran.
Of course, that's another player. Inter Milan player, Jesse Murillo. There's another player also coming in the defense. But I think what the coach have actually done is trying to see the players he's actually used to. That's why he had to, go back home and pick most of the players from home. Another player is Andres Felipe Deportivo Cali, also from home. Of course, Juan Cuadrado, that's the player to actually, watch it for. He was at Chelsea. He couldn't actually make the mark. But when he went to Juve, since that time, he has been fantastic. If you look at what he did at the last World Cup, 4 assists he got, which was really wonderful for him. And of course, the midfielders, James Rodriguez, of course, that's another big player you have to look out. If James Rodriguez is able to replicate the form he had at the last World Cup when he won the Golden Boot and all that.
And his first season at Real Madrid as well.
Real Madrid, and when he made about 46 appearances, scoring about 17 goals or thereabouts and all that, that was actually where we knew who he was. But this season, 32 appearances, 8 goals. He hasn't actually had the time, to do much about that. The forwards are Carlos Bacca of AC Milan, Roger Martinez of Racing Club, Marlos Moreno of Atletico Nacional. Then you have Daryl Moreno of Club Tijuana. So the 2 players we're actually talking about now, players to actually watch it for. Cuadrado and James Rodriguez. If these 2 players...
but I know I want to talk about Bacca as well. Carlos Bacca did so well when he was with Sevilla, AC Milan as well. Didn't do badly. And so I'll make it 3. James Rodriguez, Juan Cuadrado, and maybe Bacca. If those 3 players step up, it might be good for Colombia.
Yeah, surely, but for obvious reasons, he has to be #1 man. The talisman of the team has to be James Rodriguez. He hasn't had a great time for club this season as well for Real Madrid. He hasn't gotten a lot of playing time, and there's been talks that he might leave this summer. But then, what better opportunity do you have than actually, to go into the Copa America Centenario to show to the world that you're still the same guy that burst onto the scene at the last World Cup in 2014, and I believe he has the skills, he has the temperament to lead Colombia really far in this competition.
Yeah, quick response, guys. Quick response as we go, as we end this segment. How far can Colombia go?
Yeah, they've not won this tournament, right? They haven't won it. The last time they got to the quarterfinals, 2011, they also got to the quarterfinals. And last year, even they just won 1 game. So if these players, come to the party and all that, if, like we mentioned, James Rodriguez, Cuadrado has a nice season with Juventus and all that. If they can actually, put up that performance that James Rodriguez had at the World Cup, if he can also put up that performance, I think they can actually go far. I see them getting out of that group, but it's definitely a tough one.
Costa Rica, Paraguay, United States. and Colombia.
Yeah.
You still see them going
Yeah,
out there?
they play United States first of all, you know, so they've got to try and win that one. It's going to be very, very difficult for them because they're playing against the host nation. But in terms generally, I think they can go as far as the semifinals. I mean, I remember this team very well from 2014 at the World Cup in Brazil. They were very impressive, and they've got some really good players. You know, that can make it happen for them. So for Jose Pekerman, the coach, I think he'll be targeting nothing less than the semifinals.
Okay, guys, I want to thank you for your time on the show, and I'll note your predictions so we can talk about that later. All right, that's how we wrap up this segment, but there's still more for you on Sports Tonight. Join us again.